Hi, my name is Paul Grantham, consultant clinical psychologist. Thanks very much for joining me here. I just wanted to take a few minutes of your time just to go through 5 key reasons why I think that SDS's BPS approved certificate in third wave CBT therapies is well worth your consideration and well worth joining up to. So let's kick off with the first reason. Third wave therapies represents a big tent conceptually. Now what I mean by this is it represents a place where a number of quite diverse theoretical and philosophical systems coexist quite happily. So third wave, for example, brings together ideas from Buddhist philosophy, ideas from radical behaviorism, ideas from evolutionary psychology, and so on and so forth. So if you're somebody who's always wanted to find some sort of conceptual integration or has had a general attitude of tolerance towards different conceptual and theoretical systems within psychotherapy, then I think that this is a place that's well worth you having a look at in detail as providing a way to do that. The second important reason I think that this is worth your consideration really follows on from the first, which is that in being a big tent conceptually, third wave CBT therapies also provides a very broad-based approach to different therapeutic strategies that you can use with clients. You're going to find within this course some unusual bedfellows. You're going to find, for example, ideas that would sit quite happily, for example, within Gestalt psychotherapy. You're obviously going to find skills training ideas which would come from conditioning approaches. You're also going to find the use of visual imagery as well as, of course, the key role that mindfulness plays within this whole approach. So if you're looking to basically expand your therapeutic toolkit and you're looking for additional techniques and strategies that you can use with your clients, then I think that this is an excellent place to find them. The third point that you ought to be considering, I think, in terms of signing up for this particular course is the fact that it's a BPS approved course in third wave therapies. Now there's 2 components to that I think are worth your consideration. The first one is that although there is a lot of training on different modalities that come under the heading of third wave, so for example you can go on training specifically on mindfulness, or you can go to training specifically on compassion focused therapy, and so on and so forth, there is a real dearth of training events and training courses that bring together these disparate third wave approaches under a single heading of third wave CBT therapies. So in that respect, the SDS course is very unusual in that respect. Incidentally, if you don't believe me on this, then go and Google it. You'll actually find that there's a real absence of any credible courses that are around that bring these together. Now, in addition to that, the SDS course also has the benefit of a recognised third-party approval that comes from the British Psychological Society. So if you're looking for a course which has external approval and which comes from an internationally recognised body like the British Psychological Society, then this course is for you. The fourth reason that I think that you need to give consideration to this particular course is the way in which it brings feelings back centre stage to CBT. Within first and second wave CBT, although feelings were addressed in, for example, phobias and depression, they were largely addressed through another prism. So, for example, within first wave CBT, they are looked at through the prism primarily of behaviour and physiology, and within second wave CBT, there's a greater tendency to view them through the prism of cognition. Within third wave CBT, feelings come back centre stage in their own right. So for example, ideas of distress tolerance or ideas of compassion, both of which run through a number of third wave approaches, actually are given due consideration within this particular approach, which I personally don't think occurs with other forms of certainly CBT that you're likely to be familiar with. The final reason, the fifth reason why I think that this particular approach is worthy of your consideration, really relates to an issue which is of personal interest to myself. We live in a world where the validity of therapeutic approaches is increasingly decided by the outcomes of randomized controlled trials. In practice, what this means is it means making a decision on what works based on group differences and whether those group differences are likely to be greater than chance. Now, I genuinely believe that using this as a method of informing our decisions about the validity of a therapeutic approach is extremely important. However, I personally don't think it's the whole story. And the idea of making decisions about what is valid used on this particular principle is actually only one particular tradition within psychology. There is an equal, honourable tradition which centres around ideographic approaches, which typically use single case design, which look at general principles as they apply to the individual, but where the therapeutic approaches that one might use with any one client we've got in front of us are determined by an individualized hypothesis. I genuinely believe that third wave CBT begins to reintroduce this particular approach to therapeutic work. So, there's 5 key reasons which I hope will stimulate your thinking and bring you to a decision whereby you feel that you can sign up with us. We genuinely believe this is going to be a very exciting and significant development over the next year, and we look forward to you being a part of it. Thank you for your time.